So, so, um, I was thinking of something on the way, um, when I was done shopping, and I think that right now, just from what I see on TV, or just as, this is being vague, but like on TV, I can figure out when a lie is being told if it's on the news or something. Um, from people's mouths, I can tell if they're lying. Um, Someone tweeted, they said on Twitter, um, they pointed out something, and it was like basically saying that the government lies, or like it sounds like our government, and it was pertaining to lies. Now, for this video and for today, I want to give like whatever the benefit of the doubt means. I want to give the government the benefit of the doubt, or say there's a possibility that the government isn't lying. Meaning, as let's bunch all of the people up, and let's say, I guess the way we can do this is, if most people are telling the truth, the government's telling the truth. If most people are lying, then the government is lying. So we'll say like there's 354 people in the government, which is probably wrong. In fact, I'm sure that is wrong, but there's a specific number. And let's say the majority of the people in the United States of America, in the government that is in the United States of America, let's say that they're telling the truth, so majority rules, okay? And let's say there could be some people who are lying, but um, this doesn't, okay, so I guess what I was going to say is it doesn't really have to do with lying or telling the truth when it comes to um like the government and the Equality Act, passing. But I think what it does have to deal with is, I see it from like a war standpoint, because since this whole ISIS thing ever happened, since I ever heard of it, um like war has been on my mind for years and years and years and years and years. And terrorist attacks, and what ISIS could do, and what Afghanistan terrorists could do, and what people or terrorists in Iraq could do, and the people who we went after September 11th, and the terrorists that haven't been, detained or captured or killed. And I'm probably still somewhere back and forth when it comes to murder and war. Um, and I heard our President Joe Biden last night, I think, on the news, and he was like, he just mentioned I think he was talking about like someone dying or killing, and I don't think it was about the most current leader of ISIS. That guy ended up blowing himself up, and his family members and his children. So now I don't know what it was about specifically, but it was about someone. It was about, I think, killing, and maybe it was going in after him and what we were going to do, or it was us killing somebody. But my whole thing is, for a while I was thinking, you know, as American soldiers, you know, we shouldn't kill anybody. We shouldn't. We shouldn't kill. Um, and then what puts in my mind, and really it's probably sin, which it is sin, murder. Um, and people say, and I think the Bible says, but I'm just gonna say people say, because clearly my mind is away from the Bible, that's probably me doubting the Bible now. But it says, that we shall not kill. It's a sin. And then what I come to is, they say you have to protect your brother. So when it comes to our American soldiers and the United States Army and all of our service members who serve in America, can I see it as a defense line of the like a line of defense? I can. Do I think that it's absolutely necessary to have to murder? No, it's not. I think that the whole aspect of war in itself, you could scare somebody to death with just grenades, and it doesn't mean you necessarily throw it at them to blow them up. You throw it at them to make them, you know, retreat, basically. So, like, if you've ever watched war videos in like Afghanistan or Iraq, and you look up our soldiers over there, and you hear like, I guess it was the Taliban shooting at us or something. If you think about it, how it really comes down to it, it's like, and I'm not going to be 100% factual on this video, but let's say, okay, we'll say, just for an example, and it might be literal, I'm not sure right now because I'm not on Google, but let's say the Taliban had something to do with September 11th, our Twin Towers being hit, Saddam Hussein, Osama bin Laden, and let's say that, well, yeah, see, I don't want to say that our soldiers are killing random Taliban people, because I think that we specifically just went off after Saddam and Osama. It's basically, I think, always going down to down to one main terrorist. But put it as like this. So here's the Taliban, like here's their, excuse me, their line, okay, and our troops are over in their country. This is all their country right here. Okay, so here's the Taliban over here, and they're like, and they got their guns. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna use this hand. So here's their little soldiers, right, and they're all like laying on the ground, and they got their little guns, and like, pew 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 pew, and they're shooting this way, okay, and our soldiers are over here. I'll show you perfectly. It's a great example of our American flag, kind of, if I have it. Might have lost it. Hope I didn't. Totally may have. Oh, I didn't. Sweet. So, you have the Taliban. Like this. Stay up. Alright, so you have the Taliban over here. And this... Right, kind of... That's not correct. This. Alright, so... I don't even know what country they're in right now, the Taliban, but whatever country they're in, I think they're in a few countries actually, but so we'll say, for example, they're in I don't want to say Kabul because that's just bad, but we do have soldiers over there, and I don't know if it's the Taliban, it's someone, but so wherever they are right now, okay, this is their land, and here's the American troops, okay, this is like the American soldiers. Keep this over here, and here's all of us, and we're laying down, right? And then here's the Taliban, right? Okay, and like this is gonna be like, say this is just like little sand hills and all this stuff. And so these American troops, they've landed, we've landed in their country, okay, because we're supposed to defend each other, right? So we're defending, it says in the Bible, we're supposed to defend our brothers, okay? So someone believes somewhere that these guys over here with their guns, called the Taliban, are gonna kill some of us in America, or they're gonna maybe kill our president, or they're gonna crash a plane into like our houses or something, or they're gonna, take a factory hostage. They're gonna do something, okay? So our American soldiers, or I even want to reach back to September 11th, 2021, because I mean, Lord, sorry, excuse me, September 11th, 2001, and sorry if I didn't say 2001 before, so please excuse me. So so getting, you know, if there's intel, and I guess that's intelligence information, I'm not really sure what that is, but if there's information that there's one of these top terrorists who are still on our terrorist most wanted list, you know, so we're still trying to capture them, right? We're still trying to go in there, and our United States soldiers are still trying to detain them and maybe get them charged and maybe execute them or maybe murder them. And I go back to what happened to Saddam Hussein, you know. Would it be great probably to not execute them? I think it would. I think that they should be criminally charged with connection to the World Trade Center being hit that morning by two planes, by two hijackers. Like, make it a criminal case. Don't make it a, oh, we're gonna hang him like we did Saddam Hussein. Like, I think he was in court, and you know, I was really young when that happened, but I wasn't really young, but I was younger, and I was just preoccupied. But I did watch the execution, and I remember seeing pictures of him in the courtroom, and I just really wasn't reading everything. My mind was like living, and I was way happier, and I was with my family and not worried about or not thinking about what he did, and I wasn't really even probably educated about what he did and what America figured out he did and all that stuff. I wasn't following it so much. But execution, in my opinion, is execution, and America has, or the United States of America has execution, which happens here, and capital punishment. And it's not all states, but it comes down to this man being hung. And when it's like, if you remove the murder from it, because I believe execution is murder, you're lethally injecting somebody if you get found guilty for that, or you're like, I mean, if you get charged with a crime and you're guilty, and they sentence you to lethal injection, you get lethal injected, or lethally injected. And you know, I think that that's just allowed in this country, and that's just literally allowing murder. It's like, why don't you just put that person in a jail cell for the rest of their life like other people get life sentences? Why is that not good enough? Why do you have to kill? You're literally sinning. I don't know if in the Bible that it says so and so was killed by lethal injection because he was stabbed with a needle and a bunch of medication was put into his vein and it killed him, and God was okay with this. I don't know if it says that. I just think it's murder. But I could be wrong. But I think it's murder. So, you know, so back to this topic. So here's our troops, right? And we're gonna say actually, I'm going to be like more on point. So I'm going to pause this video and come back and actually find out where some of our troops are right now, because I know they're trying to kind of, I believe, stop a war from happening. But I guess I'll go back maybe and talk about our soldiers in Kabul and who they were going after, and maybe find something from that, because they're being watched really, really, really close right now. By the Taliban. Oh, that was the Afghanistan war, I believe, right? Afghanistan, Kabul. Yeah, I believe that was. Okay, so let's just stay there. Stay there. Let's just Stay there. Okay, so this is before they were making their exit, okay? If you go back and watch videos. And there might be videos and there might not be, but I think there is. And if there isn't, you can still get the idea of what I was saying, what I'm saying in this video, because it's online and you can see how they fight. So here's our soldiers landing in Afghanistan, and I don't know what the full mission was. I don't know who they were actually going to capture, okay? But let's say there's Taliban fighters right here, and whether they're protecting someone or not, they're doing something, okay? So they're firing guns or they're protecting someone. So let's say the soldiers are over here, you know, someone starts shooting, and it could have been the Taliban or people who are dressed in camouflage over there, you know, so they start shooting at us. So like, pew, okay? But here's this barrier. So our soldiers stay hidden, right? Like they hide behind tents, they hide behind big like buildings and rocks and whatever they can. But if they're trying to go capture somebody, or they're trying to figure out something, or they're trying to get something, or they're trying to kill someone, unfortunately, they're trying to make their way this way while being shot at. So that whole thing, I think if the guns weren't involved and these guys were over here on their side and our American soldiers were over here, it's almost as if what I saw looking at myself is a lot of these people over in this country, like in Afghanistan and where our troops have killed people, or our soldiers. I don't really like saying troops, but our soldiers in the service. It's almost as if, in a way, or not in a way, but they're suicidal. Because if you have a man right here with a grenade, and it's gonna be like me. Or not me, but a person, okay? And you have a man right here. If this man throws a grenade and it lands right here, like close enough to blow up in this guy's face, like just blow up, like boom, and where this guy knows what a grenade does, you would think, I mean, at least I would run. Like, I would retreat, go that way, run as fast as I could. So when that thing goes boom, you know, then it does. Then he's still alive. And if soldiers or the mission or, you know, the whole getting to whoever they're trying to get to worked more like that, then maybe it would be less murder and more retreating. But I think the Taliban and the people who are protecting, if they're protecting someone or they're protecting their land or they're protecting their brothers, they have to run, they have to retreat, and then they wouldn't get killed. So it's such a it's just a point of, okay, you may be protecting, let's say there's not a number one, but let's say there's okay, the most wanted terrorist in the United States of America. Let's say the Taliban's protecting him, and he's like back here hiding behind all of them under this coat so you can't see him, okay? So they're throwing grenades, and these guys are retreating. They're throwing grenades, and these guys are retreating. At some point, these people are still retreating, but they're still protecting him. And these guys, this is without firing guns right now, without murdering. These guys are protecting this guy right here because they love him so much, and they're his brother. And maybe Allah, or maybe God, because now people, I have heard that they say God is Allah. So we'll incorporate respectfully to their God and to God, you know, our God, and any God that people believe in. Maybe, you know, they're still protecting him because in the Holy Bible that I read, it says, protect thy brother, you know? I think it says that. It pretty much says that. So they're protecting him. So if the soldiers, if our American soldiers would continue to do that, okay, not fire. Now, hopefully, these guys wouldn't be firing either. They might be, which would mean, you know, if you're always being fired at, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to shoot back. You find coverage like a rock, and you hide, and you wait for them to run out of bullets, and then you keep moving up, and then you get closer. And if you have to take a guy out one by one, like say like this guy is like just on guard, and the soldiers are getting closer, or let's say he has a gun, one can sneak up behind him, take him out, and then go, and then keep moving. It's like you play video games, right? Like Call of Duty, or I don't know, Sniper, and just American video games. There's video games in this country where you can literally go up behind someone and take them. You don't necessarily even have to kill them, I don't think. And if you do, okay, you do. But that's on the video game. I'm not talking in real life. You don't necessarily have to kill all these people to get to the one guy. You know? I think that war could be handled really, really different. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, we're being shot at, let's shoot back and murder them. And that's unfortunately the way it is. And what I had in my head the other day, I condoned killing somebody in war. I said, oh, that's okay. God forgives. And God does forgive. And then I put in my head that God forgives murder. And I don't know if that's true. I think again it's like a vile sin, or it's a 7 deadly sin. There's a list of sins that I read, I swear. It's about you go to hell if you murder. And I haven't read the whole Bible, and I'm not gonna pick up, Google right now and make everything 100% factual of what I'm saying. I might when I get in, but I gotta do something. I gotta do it quick. But I think that I hope that you, and I'm gonna post this on YouTube, and maybe hashtag some people, and it might get to the House of Representatives. It might get to the United States Senate. It might get to the Congress in Michigan, or the Congress in Washington, D.C. But I hope, one, that if our wars do need to continue, that people stop dying because of it, and that we capture people instead. Whether that be use ropes, use chains, cover their mouth. I don't want to say shoot the gun out of their hand, but as long as you don't shoot the person, they might, being ricocheted with a bullet or scrap metal getting into you is much better than dying. Because all the killing, even if it is people who don't live in this country, is still a sin. And I think this country needs to realize that for all the wars we've been to. And believe me, I'm definitely not the most educated person when it comes to war. And I'm definitely not someone who could sit with like a group of old-timers at like an AA meeting, or a group of veterans, and, could I relate? Yes. But could I like name, oh, this is what happened when, during the Revolutionary War, and, this is totally wrong, but like Hitler came to invade the Nazi camps and all that stuff. Like, I cannot name all that stuff because I did not pay attention to history like that. I picked like certain subjects and I got out of the class. But war is definitely on my heart, and bringing down terrorists as what would be the best possible outcome criminally, like using our justice system, like putting them in our airplane that we fly over there and bringing them back and charging them here and putting them in jail would be so much better than just going over there and murdering them. And even with Saddam Hussein, like, rest in peace to that guy because we hung him. Like, that is a horrible way, in my opinion, to die. Like, that man, he was not in control of how, he was going to die. Someone just said, oh yeah, we're going to wrap this thing around your head and put a rope around your neck, and then I guess it didn't really show much on TV, but then at any point, whoever said go, like, I guess it was the president, yeah, he committed the execution. So isn't that murder? It ultimately, like, presidents, they give the go-ahead. Like, they gave the go-ahead to kill him. Maybe Bush, I think. Like, that's murder, in my opinion. So that's sin. So I hope you're forgiven for what you did. I believe the guy forgives. I believe that there's a possibility that even if you go to hell for murder, that God might still forgive you and you might get a chance to go to heaven. But I think that it's not always good, or what I'm learning or what I read is it's not good to always continue doing that. Like, you don't keep on sinning. Killing and killing and killing and killing and killing is not okay. Talking to these people, who are in other countries, coming to a resolution saying, hey, we're not going to kill your, whether whoever they're protecting, like, if they're protecting anybody, I can't say the ISIS leader now, but I don't think now, hopefully now we're not going after anybody, and hopefully now with Russia, we're not going after anybody to kill. Maybe, like, all of our wars and everything is ending right now, until I Google. No, but hopefully they are, right? But I forgot what I was going to say, but, communicating with them and, like, regarding if we have wanted terrorists who are, like, over in another country or something, and talking to these people first and saying, hey, we're not coming over there to kill you. We're coming over there to detain you. And, that involves, I believe, the justice system. So maybe one of our biggest problems in this country is not using our judicial system and the government that actually charges you with crimes like murder and, like, execution and suicide and felony counts and manslaughter and suicide isn't actually a charge, I don't think, but it could be incorporated in charges. Some of this stuff could be incorporated in charges, so I'll possibly say that. Possibly, maybe not. But if that's a flaw on our part and in our government, then I think that needs to be handled. If someone is, when you say wanted, that's like, okay, so the FBI finds out this, then let our FBI and let the top police officers, and I believe that's FBI, let them go over to that country, get the necessary documents through their court, file the necessary documents in our court. There's the White House and the Circuit Court and F&A. There's a big old court. Shout out to you, China. I hope you're doing okay. And God bless you, and I hope I somehow, I'm going to give it to God to get to talk to you one day. But I definitely haven't forgot about you. But there's, like, I guess a governmental court, like when you commit the penitentiary. I think it's the penitentiary. It's some bigger prison than like a Michigan State prison. It's like a governmental prison or something, I think. I'm wrong. I'm wrong, but I'm on the line. So it's like, let those people do the correct paperwork. If they say you can't come into our country and detain him, well, they might be saying that, but they're saying that because the necessary paperwork isn't done, and the necessary laws to actually go and extradite or pick up a criminal who is wanted out of the United States, the actual laws are not being followed correctly, meaning these people over here might know what we're doing wrong, so they're stopping us from going over, like the FBI, from going over there and actually capturing some of these people. And if it takes the United States military to go over there and actually find them, that's fine. But once you do, I believe then you should contact our president, who sits in his room, in his briefing room, and then contact the FBI and say, hey, our soldiers have eyes on, so-and-so. So, say, example, his name is El Bakashar, and he's wanted in connection to the terrorist attack of, like, the First World Trade Center or whatever. Pick a terrorist off of our list and say that we have eyes on him. Name that guy, tell the president, and then tell the president to get the proper, paperwork filed, get the FBI on a plane, get I guess if you need the soldiers to hold him, to get him, and then get the FBI, like, on a plane or something, get him over there, have handcuffs ready, detain him on the airplane and say, hey, we captured you, get back here, you're going to court. Like, it's not that hard to not kill people. As mad as I get, as bad as I want to punch people, as bad as I've been in situations where I could have punched people, I at least thank God haven't murdered anybody, and that's a blessing, because I think that when you get so angry and people won't talk to you about problems, and like people, they're just I guess in hip hop terms, they're playing the high road and they're being the bigger person. It's like, all right, my anger is just going to keep on building, and it's just going to keep on building. And it just comes down to venting about it. And if they see it on video, they do. And if they don't, they don't. But it's something that one day I hope comes to a big resolution, and it's never murder, and it's never physically hurting anybody, because I'm my first person who says, hey, I could get charged with that. And a lot of people that I've come across do not like how much I incorporate law enforcement into my life, and do not like how much I do stick up for them and I don't stick up for them. They're probably more like, hell yeah, don't stick up for them, we like you better now. But it's like, they have their thinking, and I know our thinking is definitely not the same. I definitely know that we are definitely dealing with age gaps and generational differences, like how they were raised with their parents and their aunts and their uncles and their family and their money and their kids and their children and all of that. But as a respect for the bigger picture regarding my own life and my own freedom and what I do know I could face in this country, as in life in prison for murder, or hell, even defending myself when it comes to if I physically got into a fight and I didn't stop punching someone, just the amount of anger that I have in me and how brutally bad I could hurt somebody, the charges that would would supposed to be placed on me, like I think manslaughter is where you actually murder someone, but like murder with intent to kill or murder without intent to kill, there's always like, and I say it's unfortunate, there's always unfortunately, I'll just say that for this example, there's always a lesser charge. Like someone, like the prosecutor always doesn't go for the biggest. It always gets dropped, like it's always like, oh, we're going to drop it down to, felony with intent to do bodily harm, not felony with intent to murder. Bodily harm, okay, well, you can punch someone so hard in the face that you break their jaw, okay, and if they deny an ambulance, and okay, I don't know if it's going to be one punch, but I'm going to say it's going to be one punch. You can hit them so hard, and if they deny an ambulance, let's say you could fracture their mouth, which breaks their jaw, which fractures their throat, and they bleed and they bleed and they bleed. And let's say that's intent to murder. Like, how are you not gonna say that was not intent to murder when it was my hands? Just because so many people in this country have a gun now, and just because so many people carry knives or Stanleys or razor blades, or you can buy brass knuckles at the mall, does not mean that your fists or my fists are not complete weapons these days. So I'm definitely well aware of what I could do if put in a position, but I'm thankful to God that I stay on the defense side. And as sucky as it is, because it's not cool being on the defense side, believe me, when you literally have people that you don't know, like when I was incarcerated, this person, I don't care. Like, it was either about what I was wearing or who I was or my name or just looking at me. I did not know this person. Out of nowhere, this guy goes or something. He's like, I don't know what he says. Like, I'm about to punch you, or I'm going to knock you out, or he said something. I don't know what it was, but maybe he didn't say anything. He just will do the whole, oh, I'm getting ready to fight you thing, and he like got in my face. I don't even remember how it actually went down, but like at that point, did I put my hands up? No. Should I have? Yeah. Or yes. But I was ready to defend myself, and it's almost as if I'm always ready to do that. And is that good for the people I live around? Yeah, because at least I'm not like some dude like that guy who I was in the elevator with, just ready to look at someone and start punching them. Like, what are you so mad about? You don't even know me. Like, you know nothing about me. You know what I'm wearing, and if you want to punch me for that, then I think you need to go evaluate your own closet, because your closet, bro, is probably worth a whole lot more money than mine, okay? If we're gonna be like, oh, these are the 90s, and I gotta rock the best clothes, like, believe me, homie, you had on what I wanted on that day, I'll tell you that. So, whatever it's about, like, to have someone randomly come up, like, do that, it was like, yo, like, what? Like, whatever. And it's not whatever. It's so serious. But it's like, at the end of the day, I don't know why random people want to fight, Like, if you're mad at other people because of the situation that I'm in, then please talk to them and say, hey, this doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why am I standing here right now? Talk to these people. Don't hurt them. I don't want you to hurt people I'm around. But talk to them. Say, can you please explain why this person is, like, wearing this uniform? Can you please do that? Like, or I feel really uncomfortable right now. Can you get me out of this elevator? I'm scared. Like, are you afraid? Like, then please, like, tell an officer if I'm by one, or tell my coworker, like, ask to be removed, please. Like, it doesn't have to get violent between you and I, because I don't even know you. And I literally don't want to go around this state ever. Just, oh yeah, I'm ready to fight. No, I really don't. Like, Miss the Hate, Miss Michelle, Miss Melanie, or I'll say Miss Melanie, Miss Colo M. Jack, and I'll just name those three. They do not want to see me again in that jail. And if you want to go to jail and possibly have me go to jail with you, and I would hope that's how it would go, or you would go to jail and I wouldn't, because I defended myself, but the word today, or that's going around, is, heck, if we're defending ourselves, we're pretty much pitchforked, because they just take us to jail anyway. So I guess if you're going, I'm going, and it's equal. I hope I wouldn't go, but if I had to go, I just don't want to go, and I hope you don't want to go either, because it's not fun. And there's nothing that's gonna be settled in a court of law between you and I. There's nothing that's gonna be settled between you and I in a pod. There's nothing that's gonna be settled between you and I in a van. There's nothing that's gonna be settled between you and I at a local police department, or in the cop car, or between us and the cops. Like, if there's some big old talk you want to have, let's just please have that talk. So hey, can I talk to you for a second, please? And I'll come talk to you. But just for the future, please stop the whole, randomly want to fight, because no, I don't want to fight you. I really don't want more charges. And if I've made you so angry that you literally just want to come up to me and fight me, let's talk about that too before we fight, okay? Like, I'll talk to you about anything, unless I don't want to talk to you about it. So, with all that said, I tied war and the Equality Act together, and I said that it's pretty much the same. I said it's murder. And I think the way things are in this country, in the United States of America, the fact that there is no Equality Act, and the fact that, because it said that it would be a law, but I'll say it could be a law and it could be an act, or it could be an act, or it could be just a law, or it could be just an act. The fact that you can kill someone for and them be, and them because they're gay, and they may or may not go to jail, is not cool, and it's just as much as a sin. It's just as much of a sin as killing someone over in another country. And there's always the cover-up of, the guy was found dead. And there's always the hush-hush of, the killer didn't kill him because he was gay. But I hope your eyes can open up to the fact of, let's not cover up the fact if someone is gay, or a lesbian, or bisexual, or transgender, or genderqueer, or pansexual, or gay, or any other spectrum of the LGBT community that they are. And even people with disabilities and people who are dealing with race issues. At the end of the day, we're all equal. And whether you like it or not, just as much as someone's death from a drug overdose can be covered up about, meaning how they really died, so can someone's murder if they were actually gay, or if they were gay, but say they were hit by a car. It could be said as vehicular manslaughter. But that person driving that car could have really known that person, and they could have just hit them on purpose because they were gay. But what's the charge? Vehicular manslaughter. It's not a hate crime for being gay. And I think it should be. Because the charges could be different. They could be worse, or they could be less. But it doesn't lessen the fact that they're dead. And to hide a person's identity for who they are to hide that behind the words of vehicular manslaughter, you're literally just putting, and this could be wrong how I'm gonna say it, the value of a person, and you're putting the murder, basically, oh, the car did it. No, the car didn't do it. The person did it, because the person is controlling the car. And the two people are equal. And the person who died, in this example, who is gay, was killed by the driver who decides to hit that person. And vehicular manslaughter, and I'll say this vaguely, or in a way that I'm just going to explain it, not vaguely, but just going to say it this way, can be a cover-up, because you don't want to say, oh, he was killed for being gay, because you don't want to look deep enough, because people are always in a rush, and you always got to, like I said a few days ago, you always got to get back to your wife, to have sex, to go feed your kids, to pay your rent, to go get some groceries, to watch TV. That's what you have to do. That's what people are in a rush to do. But there's a lot of people who are out in the real world, as people say, struggling, and they're not only fighting themselves maybe inside, and they're not only fighting looks from their neighbors when they go outside, and they're not only fighting, meaning they're hurting and they don't even want to look at these people. Maybe not verbally fighting. Maybe they're giving eye shots at these people. But they're facing inner pain in a world that, since all the LGBT rights and all that got taken away when Trump got in office, has went back to, basically, they're not respected, in my opinion. And while you may think, oh, they have marriage, great. Well, it doesn't say that we're going to go to hell if we don't get married in the Bible, okay? So marriage is an option. But I think a life, and all of our lives, were given by God who created us. So I hope this will help the United States of America, the government that's here in America, our Senate, the senators, our congresswomen, women, the Congress, the Republicans, the Democrats. I hope this will help you and anyone else to actually get the Equality Act passed, signed, and that it'll forever be a bill, or an act, or a law in the United States of America, and not get taken away. Because again, you may not read the Bible and you may not believe in God, but He created every single one of us equal. And that goes for any upcoming president of the United States of America, anyone who's running, from Donald Trump to any of the Bushes, to John Kerry, to anyone who's going to run. If Pink is going to run, or Rihanna, anyone who is going to run in the next election. I really hope that people don't just allow someone to come in here and say, well, transgender swimmers, I'm going to make sure that they're not competing. I think that's what Mr. Donald Trump said. You know what I would like to ask you, Mr. Donald Trump? I would like to ask you, why aren't they competing? Why are you going to take them off? Why are you not going to allow them? There's a reason why, and I think you should talk about it. So peace. And I hope God is with you, your family, and I hope He continues to bless this country and every country around the world. Because just as bad as it is in Africa as it has been for years when I was a kid, and we heard about, oh, that's the most starving country, where you can look at Pink, or you can look at Feeding America, or you can look at little labels of how much this country is starving too. They just don't talk about it. But it's the government. If we're going for an example, if the government starts as like a hierarchy and it goes down the chain, I guess the government people are up here, even though they are equal. So we'll say they're right here. But there's some things that aren't being talked about. So I'll say they're equal, but they don't want to talk about it. And I think you should start talking about it. It might help.